So is it possible to do too much inner work on yourself? I would say in the short term, the answer is yes, meaning you can be pushing too hard with a particular technique, or you can be doing it a little too aggressively for what your body and nervous system is able to handle. So it's a little bit nuanced, of course, like all things, where it depends on what technique you're doing, what inner work means for you. If you're familiar with me at all and sort of my foundation and what is inner work, how to do it, I have a video about that. I always think of safety first, just like with all things. You don't run into a gym and just go to like the bench press and just, let me see what 200 pounds feels like. It's not really safe to do that. Now, luckily with inner work, I don't know that there's an equivalent of that where you can just really hurt yourself instantly, but it's an attunement to, okay, wait, let me check in with my body first. Let me check in with just what's going on with me emotionally. And before I dive into something like a past experience, a memory, something with some trauma, you tune into yourself first and see, okay, what feels right for me to go into right now. Now, that's with the understanding that almost all growth involves a little bit of discomfort where you're going to be looking at something that might be a little bit uncomfortable to look at, right? But I think intuitively, most of us know the difference between, okay, this is a little uncomfortable, but I'm going to move forward versus this is way too much and I'm forcing myself to do something or forcing myself to be here. If you feel like you have a challenge with identifying that, let me know in the comments because that would be interesting to me to find some ways to explore. When you're doing inner work, emotional healing work, you're going to be looking at things that are uncomfortable, and your nervous system, your body, your mind actually need to process those things. And just like your muscles, they will need a chance to rest, to repair, to rebuild, right? There's a woman named Irene Lyon who is very fascinating in what she teaches, and I'm purchased one of her courses. I'm about to go through it on the nervous system. But I love this term she used, just building capacity, right? Just like you build strength in order to lift a weight, your nervous system has to build capacity to process these things, take on the amount of information, to be able to attune and connect to your body, especially if it hasn't felt safe to be in your body. Something I'm familiar with. You can see I have, I think my most viewed EFT video is not feeling safe in your own body. So if you think of it as skills you are building, muscles you are building, and trust, as long as you're checking in with yourself, that your body has a natural intelligence to it, and you're likely to know if you are forcing yourself into, emotional territory, forcing yourself into something that's really just not right for you right now. I believe you'll have a sense of that. And if you need more guidance on that, let me know. Now, there are types of techniques, meditation, mindfulness. You will hear stories of people whose advice and who I actually follow on YouTube who can talk about doing things in a you could say almost constant way, but they're gentle. They are like awareness, even some types of self-inquiry, which probably won't be relevant to you if you're pretty new to this experience, that can go on throughout the day. But you will not feel like, okay, I'm forcing myself and banging my head against the wall and I'm totally burnt out, right? Michael Singer, I might link a video of his below. He talks about just, okay, relax and release, right? As you go through the day, as you live your life. These are practices when you're talking about just, okay, relax, take a deep breath, be present. I don't think you can overdo those, right? Those are very healthy and natural. The things where you are taking time to like process, EFT, which I do a lot of, looking at, and even with EFT, it depends on what you're exploring, right? There are gentle things I've tapped in, plane rides for hours going through maybe subjects, like a Brad Yates videos on money or something like that. But digging into deep territory, past painful, traumatic experiences, you're going to feel a sense of, okay, that's enough for now. Just trust that, listen to that. You will be okay. And the only other caveat is when you're doing inner work or quote unquote working on yourself, reading a lot of books and stuff as a way of avoiding life. That's another video, but working on yourself too much, too hard. That's what I have to say on that. If you have any other questions or comments on that, please let me know. Thanks.